Tonight in the Red Zone, the Robinson Rockets lift off in their home opener against Caldwell. Plus, the Ellison Eagles clash against the Kangaroos of Killeen. And in our game of the week, the Fairfield Eagles take on the Mexia Black Cats. So get out your pom-poms and wear your team colors proud, because the Red Zone starts now. Welcome in to week 2 of Red Zone. I'm Shaw Jam. That's Donna Conrad. Donna, woo! It's week 2.
Let's go. Let's have some fun. Week 1 went by like that. And I have a feeling week 2 is going to be the same way, just because all of these games have been a lot of fun. We had a lot of highlights coming through back there. I'm excited for week 2. We are in it now, Shaji.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited too. Let's talk about our game of the week.
None
other than Fairfield taking on Mexia. So let's head to Fairfield's first drive. Cole Collins, he's going to take it, and he is going to throw it deep center field. Finn Smith comes down with it, getting a chunk of yards all the way to the sideline. Then Jason Brackens gets a turn, takes it to the left, and look at this big hit right here. Oh, nobody's going to stop him. Takes him all the way to the 2-yard line. Fairfield would then punch it in on their first drive. Brackens again takes it up the middle, and he scores. Now, Mexia, on their first drive of the game, Stephen Milos would get the ball, and the ball would be loose. Fairfield would get on top of it, and they would get great field position. They would start to take advantage of Collins again. This time, can't really find anything besides, you know what, I'm just going to take it myself. This is kind of like what I saw Jalen Hurts did to the Cowboys. Gets it within scoring range right there. Collins would then find the senior, Finn Smith, for the touchdown right here. A dagger there, just like that, leading 14-0. The first quarter would continue to be the Eagles show. Cole Collins with a rainbow. Kavion Hicks comes down with it. 66 yards. Donna, he gone. And looking at the final, Fairfield runs away with it 66-0.
Well, we got a crosstown showdown out at Leo Buckley Stadium between the Killeen Kangaroos and Ellison Eagles. Ellison trying to build off last year's playoff appearance. The Roos trying to get their first win since 2023. So let's take you out to Leo Buckley, where one of these teams will get their first win of the season. I'm now 2 for 2 on these, Shaji. First play of the game, Eagles quarterback Marlon Smith drops back, airs one out to Keandre Sales, who catches it in stride. An absolute bomb early on gives Ellison a 7-0 lead. Now, a pretty quiet rest of the quarter. Killeen trying to get on the board in the second. Tavares Miles rolling to his left. He lets one rip down the field. I get a little bit got here, I'm not going to lie. Shadrake Gordon hauls it in for the touchdown. He's fired up. The Roos knot things up at 7. Eagles now going to try and respond. Smith looking for Tyler Reed, but it's intercepted. A different Reed. It's Deshaun Reed for the pick 6. Killeen takes a 14-7 lead, but next Ellison possession, Smith puts it up, and Sales, get up there, come on. Over the top of the defender, he holds on. What a play by Sales. And this one, Ellison holds on 19-14 over the Roos. Okay, let's take you out to College Station. The Cougars looking for their first win of the season. And on this first possession for the Cougs, it's Zach Koser on the jet sweep, bouncing off tacklers. He's in for the touchdown, 6-0 Cougars early. Bulldogs now on offense. Watch Cole Flanagan here with the 3rd down sack. We will see more from number 9 later on. Don't say I didn't warn you. Magnolia does respond in the second quarter, though. Chase Lowry on the read option, breaking through tackles. He scampers through, and the Bulldogs take the lead, but now Lowry back to pass. He's picked off. I told you it was Flanagan. Interception, and here we are. College Station drops their second in a row. They lose to Magnolia 43-32.
All right, so Rocket Field we go. Robinson comes home for the first time this year to host Caldwell. The Rockets' first drive, quarterback Bryce McCurdy, he's going to go to the air where Jevin Munns leaps into the end zone in double coverage for the touchdown for an early 7-0 lead. But the Hornets sting back. Crush Strange finds Coy Becca, who goes over 50 yards after the catch to the end zone. We have a tie game early on in this one. Near the end of the first quarter, and Bryce McCurdy will keep this one. He's going to find the end zone to put the Rockets up 14-7. Now to the second quarter. Caldwell's Crush Strange finds Becca again, who's going to race down the sideline into the end zone to tie the score at 14. It's a shootout so far in this one. Until later in the second quarter, McCurdy, he's going to run it in again to put the Rockets up 28-14. And Evan Moreno is going to get the ball. He's going to score his second touchdown of the night, give Robinson a 25-14 lead at the half. The Hornets don't have enough to keep the Rockets on the launch pad as Robinson gets the win here 55-14. All right, China Spring Cougars looking to stay in the win column for week 2. Baxter Bears are looking to do the same. Bears with the ball first. Wesley Nielsen hands off to Gary Jefferson Jr., but a swarm of Cougs has him surrounded. Not much gain on that play, so it's tried to number 2 for Nielsen as he airs this one out on the corner to Zach Wilkinson for the first score of the game. Bears up 7-zip. Missed coverage by the Cougs, but they will definitely be making up for it as the offense gets their turn on the field. Ryan Hale brings this one in with ease for the Cougars' first score. But it's going to be a botched extra point there. But looking at it, last we checked in the third quarter, China Spring is trailing 42-34.
There's nothing quite like football in the fall, the smell of a concession stand, the taste of some popcorn, and of course, the sound of the band. Sit back and listen to the sounds of our band of the week, the Groesbeck Goats. And here's our Red Zone Big Board. Check out these scores and don't go away. Look at that school spirit. Little red, white, and blue action for the College Station Cougars.
Yeah, look at that school spirit indeed. Look at all those highlights that we've had. So why don't we continue on in the red zone and continue on some highlights. All right, looking on right now, we're going to start with Thrall at Rosebud Law, who held a dedication ceremony for William Bill Bain, early head coach who led Rosebud Law to its first state championship in 2002. The Cougars are going to push the pace. They're going to get their QB Price, Ray Broker, the chance to scramble into the end zone for the first TD of the game. Later, that quarterback, Ray Broker, hands it off to Daniel Rinkin, who's just gone as soon as he gets the ball. Leighton West is going to chase him down, but just can't get the tackle, leaving the Cougars up 14-0. Starting off in the second quarter, Ray Broker takes a snap, sends a bullet straight to McGinnis, who marches unopposed to the end zone, pulling the Cougars ahead 21-0. And looking at it, the last time we checked the score, and we are late in the fourth quarter, but Rosebud Law is running away with this one, 49-14. All right, off to Troy, where the Trojans hosted the Hillsborough Eagles. The Eagles would win the toss and elect to defer. Deferring would be the right answer, as Hillsborough kicking team would jump on the ball on the opening kickoff. However, the Trojans defense would step up and hold them to a 4-and-out. When on the Trojans' first drive of the game, junior Jaden Lucky would have an explosive run to get Troy into the red zone, name of the show. The Trojans continue driving when Jaden Lucky again gets the ball and punches it in for the first 6 points of the game. Then on the next kickoff, the Trojans would do exactly what the Eagles did, as they recovered their own kick. The Trojans' offense couldn't be stopped. Quarterback Hunter Fryman would find Bryson Williams in the end zone to put them up 14-0. Troy would eventually put the game away. As we check the score right now it is final. Troy wins this one 55-30.
All right, the Navasota Rattlers hosting the Madisonville Mustangs in the Battle of Highway 90. This one has become so much fun. Mustang quarterback Malik Kovar throws a 41-yard touchdown strike to receiver Tristan Whaley with the extra point. Madisonville goes up 10-0. Now, Madisonville senior running back Jaden Simpson breaks off for a 60-yard touchdown run. Can I get a he gone? He gone. That puts the Mustangs up 17-0 early in the second quarter. With the Mustangs threatening in the red zone again, the Rattlers come up with a fumble recovery and look to gain some momentum. Now, Navasota's got some life on their home field. And now we're going to see Mark McGinty to Valentin Castaneda. And this is going to set them up with a first and goal from the 9-yard line. And y'all are not going to believe this, but Navasota comes all the way back in this one to beat Madisonville 31-24.
All right, the Bosqueville Bulldogs ready to take a bite out of the Milano Eagles. Bosqueville's Dax Ferris getting the ball and avoiding a hit by Milano's Jesus Reyes, despite 3 Eagles on his tail. And as we like to say, he gone. He right into the end zone to give the Bulldogs their first score. Ferris feeling himself and loving the start to this matchup, but it didn't stop there for the Bulldogs. Cooper Kent, he's going to pass. Ball is going to be tipped, though nearly intercepted, but Keller Silver saves the day with another Bulldogs touchdown. Late in the second quarter, nice catch by Texas Burgeon, but a flock of Eagles pop it out, but the Bulldogs are able to recover. The Bulldogs' Cooper Kent deciding to keep this one for himself. And one more time, he gone, widening the lead, and looking into the final score of this one, Bosqueville takes care of business, 56-12.
All right, McGregor makes the drive to Groesbeck tonight to take on the Goats. And on the first play of the drive, McGregor quarterback Bubba Zacharias finds his man Dominic Madrone, who finally gets dragged down at the 20-yard line for a 40-yard gain. What a play. I almost thought he was gone. And now only a few plays later, Bulldogs line up on the 15, and it's Zacharias takes the snap, weaves his way through the defense for a touchdown. Bulldogs miss the extra point, but do go up 6-0. Now it's the Goats' turn. Groesbeck, QB Ryder Sanford drops back, throws a dagger to Avery and Ray, who stiff arms through the defenders and struts his way into the end zone for a 35-yard touchdown. Goats take a 7-6 lead. But a few possessions later, Groesbeck has the ball again. A lot of celebration going on here. Let him celebrate. Come on.
You let him celebrate.
Let him celebrate. A few possessions later, though, Groesbeck again. Sanford finds Ray down the field, goes up, snatches that ball over a defender, fights for 15 more yards. And this one, Groesbeck up big late in the fourth, 45-27.
And here's our Red Zone Big Board. Check out these scores. Don't go away. We're heading into the fourth quarter up next. All right, so many amazing plays, but only one play, Donna, can be our play of the week. It's my personal favorite part of our show. Let's take a look at it right now. It's going to go to Ellison. Marlon Smith throwing it to KXXV Sales. Wow. Now, you were part of this game. Tell me, what was going through your head when you saw that?
Well, this is just awesome. We got a You Got Mossed. He stays on his feet. Impressive stuff from KXXV Sales, who, by the way, if you didn't see the highlights, that's his second TD of the night. That connection is going to be fun to watch this whole year. Yeah, he pulled an Allen Iverson at the end when he got it there. You know, in the famous 2001 finals when he stepped over. He's like, look, yeah, I scored that touchdown right there. So fantastic play right there, as that is our play of the week. Congratulations to Ellison. All right, so looking at overall, what are kind of the things that stuck out to you here in week 2? A little bit surprised about the Cougars off to a slow start, 0-2. Would like to see them bounce back next week. A&M Consolidated also went up to Forney tonight. They dropped that game 38-21. So, again, I think from some of the Brazos Valley teams, we'd like to see a little bounce back next week. I think for some teams up here, we've seen a lot of great action, like Ellison getting their first win of the season tonight. How are you feeling? Man, looking at Robinson, new coach, Coach Brown, 2-0, and Robinson looks really good right now. Really good. You know, when I was out there for practice on our road to Red Zone, he was part of the practice. He was very energetic, and they are buying into what he is selling, and it's turning out on the football field. Looking at, you know, they were on the road this week, but Midway dominant again. Yes. They are 2-0. Head coach Joe Gillespie is just on fire right now. And on the other side, Lake Belton, for the first time in program history, has fallen to 0-2. Not a great start for them. Mejia doesn't really look like the same team right now, as they also fall to 0-2. So it feels like it's kind of sort of a reverse of what's going on, but just like, you know, it's kind of the same with some teams, but some teams are improving, some teams aren't really the same as last year. It does, but you know what? It's only week 2. We've got 8 more weeks, so we got a lot of season left to play, don't we? We have a lot of season left to play, but that's going to do it for week 2 of Red Zone. It's shaping up to be an interesting season. We shall see what happens going into week 3 and the week after that. For myself, Donna Conrad, thank you so much for joining us for this week's Red Zone.